I still remember the first time I met Kemi. It was many years ago in our village, Olaworo, where the air is thick with the scent of palm wine and the hum of the evening drum circles. Olaworo is the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and news travels faster than a sparrow in flight. Kemi was the first daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Adekunle, a respected but strict family in the village. She had the kind of dark, radiant skin that shone like polished ebony under the sun. But back then, no one called it beautiful. In our village, fairness was prized. People said it was a sign of prosperity and good fortune. Those with lighter skin were often referred to as angels, while those with darker tones were whispered about, ridiculed or even pitied. And in the Adekunle household, this colorism was painfully clear. Kemi's younger sister, Fola, was the golden child, not just because of her lighter complexion, but because their parents showered her with love and attention. I used to see the two of them at the marketplace. Fola would wear colourful iro and buba, made from the finest Ankara fabric, her hair adorned with beads that clinked musically as she walked. Meanwhile, Kemi followed behind in plain wrappers, carrying the baskets and goods, her head always lowered. Her mother's words were sharp and unforgiving. "Kemi, why can't you be more like your sister? See how her skin glows. You are too black, too dull." These words cut deeper than any knife. Kemi would flinch but never respond. Even as a child, she seemed to carry a weight too heavy for her small shoulders. It wasn't just at home. In the village square, the other children avoided her during games. They mocked her, calling her Kalakala or Ajantala, names that meant she was too dark, almost unnatural. Once, during a school drama performance, Kemi was cast as the demon simply because, as one elder put it, her blackness fits the role. I remember the tears in her eyes that day. As the years passed, Kemi grew into a young woman. Her figure was graceful and her smile, though rare, was warm and captivating. But the village had already written her off. Suitors came for Fola in droves, bringing yam tubers, cola nuts, and even goats as bride price. No one came for Kemi. One market day, when I was selling groundnuts, I overheard Kemi speaking with Mama Ifeoma, the local herbalist. She was asking about special lotions to lighten her skin. Mama Ifeoma scolded her, saying, "My child, the spirits gave you this skin for a reason. Why do you want to change it?" But Kemi wasn't convinced. Her heart was already set on transforming herself, believing it was the only way to earn love and acceptance. Not long after, Kemi left Oloworo for the city. Lagos, they said. She had found work there and was determined to start afresh. For years we heard little of her, but when she returned, the Kemi we once knew was gone. Her skin was now pale, almost ghostly, and she wore clothes that glittered like the city lights. She arrived in a flashy car, her nails painted and her hair styled in ways we had never seen. The villagers couldn't stop talking. "Is this the same Kemi?" they whispered. Even her parents, who had once belittled her, suddenly treated her like a queen. She brought gifts, money, jewelry, and even a generator for the family compound. Her mother's praise was endless. "Ah, my daughter, the city has truly transformed you." But those of us who knew her before could see the shadows behind her smile. Kemi had become a model in Lagos, appearing on posters and in magazines, but the cost of her transformation was steep. She confided in me one evening as we sat by the village river. "Auntie Bola," she said softly, "I thought if I changed my skin, people would love me, and they did, for a while. But it's never enough. They only see what's on the surface." Her words haunted me. It wasn't long after that Kemi began to fall ill. At first, she thought it was ordinary fatigue, but her legs and arms started swelling, and she often looked pale and tired. She travelled back to Lagos for treatment, and it was there she learned the truth. The bleaching cream she had used for years had damaged her kidneys. When the news reached the village, there was an eerie silence. Her parents, who had basked in her success, now turned away. "What will people say if they find out?" her mother said one evening, refusing to send Fola for testing as a potential donor. Kemi returned to Olaworo, weak and defeated, the mansion, the car, and the fame all gone, but not everyone abandoned her. Tunde, the schoolteacher's son, who had always admired Kemi from afar, stepped forward. He visited her daily, bringing herbs and food, sitting by her side as she recounted her regrets and dreams. It was Tunde who found a donor for Kemi, a kind-hearted soul from another town. The surgery was successful, and slowly, Kemi began to heal. Her journey to recovery was a long one, but during that time, she rediscovered herself. She spoke at village gatherings, sharing her story and warning others about the dangers of bleaching. She started a small organization to educate young girls about self-love, inviting elders and herbalists to teach them about natural beauty and health. Today, Kemi lives a quieter life in Olaworo. She married Tunde, and together they have 2 beautiful children, whose laughter echoes through the village. She often says, "My scars remind me of my journey, but they also remind me of my strength." As I tell you this story, I hope you understand its lesson. In our village, in our world, beauty is not in the fairness of the skin or the shape of the body. It is in the heart, the spirit, and the courage to embrace who we are. And so, when I see Kemi walking through the village, her dark skin glowing once more under the sun, I see not just a woman but a survivor, a teacher, and a reminder that true beauty cannot be measured by anyone's standards but our own.